At number 10 is Vitaly. The YouTube star is known for his pranks and viral PR stunts, like streaking at sports games, and being arrested has not been a one-time thing for him. But his latest arrest in April 2020 was more serious than a prank video. He was actually arrested for allegedly assaulting a woman in Miami Beach. The woman, named Lily Jensen, came forward and told the cops she was jogging when he jumped out and tackled her and then proceeded to beat her. The photographs of her injuries were obtained by TMZ but are too graphic to show on here, so you will have to Google that. Her right eye and eyeball were bloody, her face was badly bruised and swollen, and she even required some stitches. He was facing a criminal charge of felony aggravated battery for the incident, but you would never tell by looking at his mugshot. He literally looks as happy as ever. He has a huge smile on his face as if you just told him good news. On top of the felony charge, he's also facing a lawsuit from the victim, who is suing him for battery, assault, and infliction of emotional distress, claiming she was ambushed without provocation. Not the kind of mugshot that you would expect to see of someone who is facing serious charges like this. He honestly posed like he was taking a school picture.
Coming in number 9, we have Jesse Sebastiani, one of the kings of the prank world, one of the faces of the Nelk Boys, and someone who grew up right here in Ontario. Jesse Sebastiani got arrested in Ohio when someone took his prank a little too seriously. He dressed up in a white jumpsuit and walked into a bookstore and asked the person at the counter if they had any books on how to cover up a murder. The only thing is, the jumpsuit was covered in fake blood. Obviously, this would seem so ridiculous that no one could take it seriously. If you were working at the bookstore, you would probably just say no and let the person walk out of the store, but it would seem that someone watching the prank unfold was freaked out by this display and called the cops. Police rushed to the scene and arrested Jesse, even after it was made clear that the entire thing was a prank. It would seem that one of YouTube's finest might end up in jail, but when push came to shove, everything was brought in front of a judge, and he thought the whole thing was funny and suspended the charges. I mean, it can't really go better than that. You're about to get sentenced and then you find out the judge is a fan.
It's hilarious. From Ontario? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Up next, number 8, we have Cameron Dallas. The social media star was arrested by police in Colorado back in 2019 after an alleged assault happened at a hotel. On New Year's Eve in 2019, around 5 a.m., an ambulance was called to the Hyatt Residence's Grand Aspen Hotel, where a man was bleeding from facial injuries. Turns out the injuries came from Dallas, and he was arrested on a charge of second-degree assault, which is a felony, police said. But he posted a $5,000 bond and was later released. The strange part about his mugshot was that he was also smiling in it. He looks completely unbothered, but he also posted it on his Twitter account for his fans to see. On top of that, he captioned it with this: "Unfortunately, sometimes in life you find yourself in a situation where you have to protect yourself and the people you care about. Have a safe and happy new year. 2019 is going to be an amazing one." He ended up accepting a deal and pleaded guilty to disorderly conduct and a lower level misdemeanor charge. Can't say I would ever expect someone to tweet out their own mugshot as like a Happy New Year post.
Coming in number 7, we have Tana Mojo. We all like to party, and sometimes you're not willing to wait until it's legal. Tana Mojo would get arrested for underage drinking. Oh my god, how old was she? Was she 14? Was she 16? No, she was actually 20 when this all happened. Which, if you were in any other country, would be fine, but in the United States it's a big no-no. That's pretty wild. I think in the United States you can buy a gun before you can drink, which seems kind of backwards if you think about it. Wouldn't you want people to be able to handle their booze before they can handle a gun? But how did Tana get sucked into this bad situation? Well, it turns out she was at Coachella and she went to the bar to get some Red Bulls. See, you're allowed to buy chemical garbage that'll get you jacked up on caffeine, but not booze. And when she got there with her friends, the bartender said she was a fan of Tana and she would give her whatever drink she wanted. Sounds like a pretty sweet deal. Even if you're not supposed to do something like that, if someone offers you something for free, you usually want to take it. Well, Tana did, but it turns out that there was a squad of undercover cops waiting to arrest her. Honestly, this sounds like entrapment if you ask me. Shouldn't the bartender get arrested? Well, Tana was charged, then released when she posted bail.
Not surprised to see her on this list.
No, not at all.
Moving on to number 6, we have Steve-O. I don't think anyone is surprised to hear that he was arrested at one point in his career. After being one of the members of the Jackass movies, it was bound to happen that some of his ridiculous behavior would eventually catch up to him. In 2015, he was arrested in LA after climbing a crane above Sunset Boulevard holding an inflatable Shamu balloon with the words "SeaWorld sucks." He climbed the crane to protest against SeaWorld and set off fireworks from the crane. Once he climbed back down, he was arrested on 5 charges: creating a false emergency, unregistered fireworks, possession of fireworks without a permit, and trespassing. He was sentenced to jail for 30 days after pleading no contest, but was released after just 8 hours. Turns out this was not his first mugshot though. He actually tweeted out one of his drunk mugshots from when he was 20 years old, and not gonna lie, it definitely beats the SeaWorld one. Back in 2018, he tweeted, "I declare today National Drunk Mugshot Day. Post some if you got 'em."
Right on. I like that vibe. Coming in number 5, we have Bryce Hall. Here's the thing, when people get famous, they might get into a little bit of drug use. That's something that can happen from time to time. Sometimes it's something horrible that ruins a person's life, and other times it's just a little bit of cannabis, which is illegal in the US, but if you were up here in Canada, it's okay. But if you were Bryce Hall in Canada, you would still be in trouble with the amount of cannabis that was found on his person. This dude was arrested with nearly 2 ounces on him, and this was in Texas. I don't know exactly what the rules are for having weed on your person when you're in Texas, other than it's not allowed. So Bryce and his buddy Jaden Hostler were both arrested and posted bail for $11,000.
Damn. All for some weed.
All for some weed. Better be good.
Taking the number 4 spot is J-Station. The YouTube celebrity caused a storm online after pretending that his girlfriend had been killed as some kind of clickbait. He posted a video of him crying and saying his girlfriend was killed by a drunk driver, and he even filmed a video of him at her memorial, which fans later learned was all set up. He went to great lengths to receive views, even attempting to use a Ouija board to get in contact with her. But the truth came out and she was never dead. In fact, they weren't even dating anymore, and she accused him of assault. He later confessed to faking the death for views and was arrested on the charge of assault and was charged with assault and assault with a weapon, according to a statement from Toronto police. Now, his mugshot is insane, mainly because the story behind it. I mean, how do you justify faking your girlfriend's death and setting up a fake memorial for it? His mugshot photo isn't anything too out of the ordinary, although he does look extremely concerned in it, almost like a deer in headlights.
Coming in at number 3, we have Sniper Wolf. I didn't know who Sniper Wolf was before making this video, and I have to say I am disappointed she is neither a sniper nor a wolf. I was hoping that it was going to be a sick wolf that knew how to use a sniper and was in the Russian military, but I have to say I'm not disappointed with the reason that she has a mugshot. She was arrested in 2013 for armed robbery. What? This lady's like John Dillinger robbing banks and running away with the goods? Well, it turns out that it isn't that crazy. She went to steal something from a store and then smacked a security guard on the way out when he tried to stop her. But wait, there's more. In 2016, she was arrested again for disorderly conduct when she got into an argument with her boyfriend in public, but the charges were dropped and she was able to return to making content that is neither about a sniper nor a wolf.
Rolling into number 2, we have Charles Ross. The YouTuber has a history of arrests for his pranks, and one of his mugshots stands out among the rest. His last arrest was in 2019 for one of his prank videos where he pretended to be a police officer. In his prank, he approached a woman who parked her car at Steak and Shake with her 2 children, and he handed her a ticket. She believed him at first since he was wearing an entire police uniform, but then she got aggravated when she checked and saw that she was not parked illegally. She got really upset, so he eventually told her it was a prank and offered her concert tickets to not call the cops, but she did anyways. It actually wasn't this mugshot that stands out to me. It was one from back in 2013 when he was charged for disorderly conduct after jumping over deputies on a picnic table. The story behind it is far less interesting, but his mugshot is legendary. He is rocking Princess Leia buns, or Miley Cyrus buns, depending which generation you are from.
Princess Leia buns for me.
Ooh, Miley for me.
Really?
Well, when I saw it, I was like Miley Cyrus, but I'm like, most people would be like Princess Leia.
Of course, of course. And coming in the #1 spot, we have Belle Delphine, the internet sensation that blew up huge off of a single TikTok and then continued to troll people and build up a simp nation that was so huge they would never stop following her, even when her nearly 5 million follower Instagram account got deleted. Belle Delphine is known for some of the weirdest content on the internet and selling her own bathwater. I have no idea if that is legal, but that's not the reason she's on today's list. She didn't get arrested for selling something so disgusting it sounds like it would be a challenge on Fear Factor. No, she actually went to prison for vandalizing someone's property. Belle Delphine had a very serious disagreement with her friend. She accused her friend of stealing her hamster, which is a very strange thing to take from someone, but I would understand why you would want it back. Well, Belle Delphine's friend said that she didn't steal it, and then there was a back and forth that eventually escalated to Belle Delphine vandalizing her friend's car with spray paint. This got her locked up in the big house.
All for a gerbil.
All for a gerbil, baby.
Going for number 10 now, we have Leafy Is Here. In the summer of 2016, commentary channel Leafy Is Here was pulling in an impressive 121 million views every single month. Then he got caught up in a whole bullying scandal with many YouTubers calling him out, most famously H3H3. The nail in the coffin came in September 2016 when iDubbbz released a content cop video about him. He ripped apart all of his content, saying things like it wasn't satire, it was low quality, repetitive cheap shots, mainly at kids, because Leafy was too scared to go after anyone else. Leafy made a reply video to this, which many people felt never really addressed the points that iDubbbz made. Since then, the views on Leafy's channels began to plummet. From a high of 121 million, he's now pulling in about 6 million a month. Next up at number 9 now, we have Sam Pepper. Now, Sam Pepper was once a famous YouTuber known for his prank and interview videos. Then, one day, he uploaded a video that pretty much put an end to his whole YouTube career, the killing best friend prank. It involved him pretending to kidnap his friend Sam on the outskirts of LA. They backed him up and took him to a location where Sam thought that his friend Kobe had just been shot and killed right in front of him. Sam was obviously distraught. Many people on YouTube were very shocked and disgusted, and Sam eventually deleted all of the videos from his channel. Next up at number 8 now, we have Daddy05. This family vlog channel was pretty big at one point, gaining 750,000 subscribers in under 2 years. Their videos featured their day-to-day lives and pranks on each other, mainly Cody, though, the youngest of the family. The pranks on him would often involve accusing him of something and then pretending to get angry at him. Sometimes they would encourage his siblings to kick or punch him. You get the idea. It would often end in tears. Philip DeFranco talked about them on his show, and that was really the beginning of the end for them. YouTube removed ads from the channel, and when the backlash got too much, the family privated every single video on their channel, and it was pretty much finished. Alright, at the number 7 spot now, we have Toby Turner. Now, he was a very popular YouTuber in the platform's early days, with millions of subscribers spread across multiple channels. On April 8th, 2016, Drama Alert broke a story based on a Tumblr post from one of Toby's ex-girlfriends. She accused him of abuse and rape. Other former partners of Toby came forward to tell their stories of him lying, cheating, and his manipulation. Still, the main focus was on the abuse and rape allegations. Toby released a video firmly denying all allegations, and not much more has really been said on the matter from either side, but Toby's channels have taken big hits that they may never recover from. Moving on to number 6 now, we have Tanner Mongu. Now, this YouTuber was called out by iDubbbz in one of his famous content cop videos. He accused her of using the N-word in a number of videos, and that her explanation of "I didn't know that was a racist word, I heard it in rap songs" was not really good enough. This came after Tanner had accused him of saying certain offensive words like the N-word. iDubbbz's retort was that all of these words are off limit, or none of them are. Tanner's name was pretty tarnished among the YouTube community, although she still has maintained her core audience. Next up at number 5 now, we have T Martin. This YouTuber gained fame for his CSGO videos, earning millions of subscribers. In 2016, he uploaded a video showing off CSGO Lotto, a gambling site for kids where they bet real money in the hopes of winning in-game items. A scandal exploded when it turned out that T Martin actually founded the CSGO Lotto site. This was something he did not disclose up front and is widely regarded as extremely unethical. He tried to lie and cover up his tracks before the truth came out. His channel is still up, but earning a fraction of the views that it used to. Alright, next up at number 4 now, we have Bald Guy. Real name Matt Hoss. He used to upload skit videos which involve parkour and picking up girls. Interesting combination. H3H3 made a video mocking how ridiculous they were, and Matt Hoss sued them, claiming that they had stolen his content. This was the start of the famous H3H3 lawsuit that many of you guys have probably heard about. After a long time, H3H3 won the lawsuit, and it was seen as a victory for free speech and fair use on YouTube. The backlash against Matt before, during, and after the ordeal was immense. He tried to make a bit of a comeback after the dust settled, but every one of his videos was downvoted into oblivion, and nobody has heard from him since. Moving on to number 3 now, guys, we have the Fine brothers. Benny and Raffi Fine are the guys behind Kids React To, Adults React To, Elders React To, you know, all of those shows. I'm sure you've seen them. In 2016, they made a video announcing React World, a new opportunity for people to license the React brand in exchange for a share of their revenue. The YouTube community didn't really take too kindly to this. They saw it as the Fine brothers trying to essentially copyright reaction videos so nobody else could do them. And to be fair, they did try and trademark the word React, so you can kind of see why people thought that. The two brothers put out a video explaining how that wasn't actually the case, but the damage was already done. They lost about 150,000 subscribers in just 2 weeks. The channel managed to recover, but they themselves have stepped away from the camera. Alright, at number 2 now, we have SourceFed. This used to be a huge channel founded by Philip DeFranco. They had another channel called SourceFed Nerd, which would upload content all things geeky. In May 2017, the new owners of the channel, Group 9 Media, rebranded SourceFed Nerd as Now This Nerd, with an announcement video that the old channel was over. This angered many of SourceFed's old fans. The company's senior producer came forward with an apology video stating that they were going to change things back to how they were. They decided to start Now This Nerd as a whole new separate channel. Fans of SourceFed were thankful, but some observers say this has irreparably damaged their brand before it even got started. And finally, number 1 now, we have Nicole Arbour. This YouTuber was known for her rant and sketch videos, earning her millions of subscribers and catapulting her to the front page of YouTube on multiple occasions. One video in particular, though, proved to be her undoing. Dear Fat People was a video addressing how she felt about overweight people and saying that outside of medical conditions, they should be ashamed of their weight. She advocated for fat shaming and received a lot of backlash for that. The real nail in the coffin, though, came in January 2016 when ex-boyfriend and fellow YouTuber Matthew Santoro released a video claiming that she had emotionally and physically abused him during their relationship. Nicole still uploads, but the views and dislike bars seem to show that YouTube has not forgotten.
Coming in at number 10, Alexis Sharkey. Alexis Sharkey was an Instagram influencer and Monat mentor who moved to Houston, Texas in January of 2020. In November of last year, after a trip to Mexico, friends and family began to get worried when they hadn't heard from her. Alexis was officially reported missing on November 27th, and the last time she was seen was when she left her house after having an argument with her husband. Of course, people were searching and trying to figure out where Alexis was, but no one was able to locate her. Shortly after this, an employee from the city of Houston was driving and saw some feet sticking out of the bush. This worker, of course, called the authorities, and when they arrived on the scene, they were able to confirm that they had sadly found Alexis, but she had passed away. Since this discovery, there has been, of course, plenty of speculation around what may have happened. Authorities have been able to confirm her cause of death, and the case has gone from missing person case to an investigation and to search for the person who took Alexis's life. Many speculate her husband, but there hasn't been any proof of that to release to the public. Hopefully soon we will have the answers as to what really happened to Alexis so the family can receive the closure they deserve. In our number 9 spot today, we have Ready Set Glamour. Ready Set Glamour was a beauty guru and YouTuber who totally disappeared from social media a few years ago. Her fans were already wondering where she went and what had happened to her, but when the entire channel closed, it only made people more worried. You guys know how these things go, and of course her fans began swirling rumors of what happened and where she went. I don't have any concrete answers, but there are 2 main theories. The first is that she felt as though she needed to take time off because she was apparently pregnant. This is of course totally reasonable that she would want to focus on her growing family, and maybe what was supposed to be a break just naturally turned into a decision to leave the spotlight entirely. The other theory is that she may have been going through a divorce at the time and needed to focus on herself. This is of course another perfectly reasonable explanation that we can definitely all understand, especially if she was also pregnant at the time. I wish I had a solid answer for you guys, but I also totally respect her privacy. Wherever she is, I hope she is doing well and that she is happy. Before I dive into this one, guys, please don't forget to hit the thumbs up button if you're enjoying the video so far, because it really helps us out. A person was a YouTuber who posted just a bunch of everyday videos that were kind of vlog style, many of which featured his very cute dog or other members of his family. His frequent uploads became quite a bit less frequent before he stopped posting altogether in late 2016. Because of the fact that there weren't any other social media linked to his account, his disappearance from the platform left a lot of people wondering what could have happened to him, as there were limited resources to figure that out. Some people speculated that he may have just decided he didn't want to make videos anymore, but some were worried something worse had happened, especially since one of his last videos was about how he thought a ghost was following him. Unfortunately, I don't have a concrete answer for what exactly happened, but the good news is that I am pretty sure I know where he went. It seems as though the YouTuber Matt Ophelia is a person. This is kind of weird considering the account of Matt Ophelia was made long before a person, but the two people on both accounts look very similar, which leads me to believe that this is the same person.
In our number 7 spot today we have I Will Bot. I Will Bot was a YouTube account that featured the pianist Will Ting, and I know everyone's gonna be like, she said penis. And it basically just consisted of a ton of piano videos and covers. Will was well loved by his fans and subscribers, so they were rightfully all a little sad when his uploads became less frequent before they just stopped altogether in 2015. The good news for a while was that he continued to post on his Instagram, but even that account hasn't seen a post since 2018, so where could he have gone? I unfortunately am not really sure what exactly happened or where he went, but there is a lot of speculation. I think the most common theory, and the one that I'm hoping for, is that his regular life just got too busy to continue his social media presence, or perhaps he just lost his passion for creating content. Whatever really happened, wherever Will is, I hope that he is doing well.
Next up at number 6 we have Jessica Stein. Jessica Stein is an Instagram model from Australia who has left fans extremely worried. Jessica, who goes by the Instagram name Tula Vintage, stopped uploading after she posted it in January of 2020. Her final post, which came over a year ago, was to do with the Australian fires, which, as we now know, were just the beginning of an extremely tumultuous year globally. Jessica was known for her photos of her traveling the world in beautiful designer clothes, and she was one of the first influencers who made her living solely from sponsored posting, so it was of course very strange when she stopped posting altogether. Still, in March of 2021, we haven't had an update from her or anyone in the family, which has left many people guessing. Jessica has a beautiful young daughter named Rumi, who suffers from an extremely rare chromosome disorder. Apparently, it's so rare that only 10 living people have ever been diagnosed with it, because it usually causes a miscarriage before the baby can be born. Many people believe that Rumi and her health struggles might be the reason Jessica is off social media. It is entirely possible that maybe she just needed more time to focus on her daughter, and I think that is something we can all understand and appreciate. I hope one day Jessica gives us all an update so we can hear how both her and Rumi are doing, and I truly am wishing them all the best.
In our number 5 spot today we have Wang Xiaozheng. Wang was an influencer, environmentalist, and explorer who was dubbed as the Tibetan Adventurer, but he was also well known as Glacier Bro. Wang first got into his travels after seeing a tourism video for a snow-capped mountain, and since then he visited tons and tons of glaciers where he took videos and photos, which he of course posted on his social media accounts so everyone could come on his journeys with him. Wang even spoke at the UN Climate Change Conference a few years ago when he detailed his first-hand accounts of the quickly melting glaciers. On December 20th of 2020, Wang was exploring a glacial waterfall when he disappeared. Unfortunately, it seemed as though he must have fallen into the rushing icy water, where he most likely got trapped under a sheet of ice on the surface of the water. Wang was pretty quickly presumed dead because of the nature of his disappearance, but of course authorities and family and friends continued to search in hopes of some sort of closure. On March 18th, just a few days ago from the time we are filming this video, authorities ended up finding a body that they believe belongs to Wang. They have not yet confirmed the identity, but it is sadly most likely him. After Wang's disappearance, his brother posted on his social media accounts saying, "My brother lies forever in his favorite waterfall. For all of his life he was obsessed with glaciers and gave his life to the glaciers. This is the best resting place for him."
Alright, coming in at number 4 we have Nikki Donnelly. Nikki Donnelly was a woman from Toronto who was known for documenting her travels experiences on Instagram. Earlier this year, Nikki was hiking a mountain trail just north of Vancouver when she went missing. Nikki was known to go on these adventures by herself, so it wasn't unusual that she was alone when she disappeared. Before going missing, she had posted about reaching the summit of the mountain, but was on her way back down where things went awry. Nikki actually called a friend to explain that she was lost as she had strayed from the trail on her way down. This friend quickly contacted a search and rescue team team, but Nikki's call came at 3:20 p.m., which meant that nightfall was quickly approaching, and this happened in the winter, so of course with nighttime comes some bitterly cold Canadian weather and a lot of snow, which made the rescue team's night vision equipment less than efficient. Despite the rescue team's best efforts, Nikki wasn't found until the next morning, and by that time she had unfortunately passed away. Nikki is remembered as a very bright spirit and someone who was welcoming and warm to every person she encountered.
In our number 3 spot today, we have Lim Ji-hyung. Lim was a North Korean soldier who risked her life to escape her country and live a free life. This was in 2014, and she was 23 at the time and ended up in Seoul, South Korea, where she began her social media career. She was funny and extremely likable in her videos, where she detailed both her past life along with her more current adventures. She was also known to speak out about her previous life and what living in North Korea was like for her. In April of 2017, on her 26th birthday, she wrote on her blog, "This is possibly the happiest birthday of my life. Thank you to all the fans who love me. You give me the courage to keep speaking out." Shortly after this day, Lim disappeared. Her social media accounts stopped seeing their frequent uploads, and at first her friends thought she had just gone on some kind of a shopping trip, but when she didn't return for quite some time, they contacted the authorities. Because of the nature of her escape from North Korea and the fact that she had a large platform where she discussed the issues that the country faced, the missing persons case was considered very serious. 3 months after her disappearance, however, Lim was seen in a video that was posted to a North Korean propaganda site that is run by the government. In the video, she looked incredibly different, and she tearfully explained that she had left South Korea on her own accord, and between this video and the 2 others that were posted, she called herself human garbage and begged for forgiveness from Kim Jong-un. This is obviously all extremely suspicious, and unfortunately Lim has not been heard from since, which has of course left many people wondering what really happened here.
Coming in at number 2, Adriana Murrieta. In November of 2020, Instagram model Adriana Murrieta was reported missing by her family after she had flown to Guadalajara, Mexico. A search of course was quickly started, and it took a few days for the authorities to find anything. Eventually, however, authorities found Adriana, but she had very sadly passed away. The circumstances surrounding her death have been very suspicious from the get-go, and it was clear to authorities that foul play was definitely involved. There has been plenty of review of different surveillance cameras that she was caught on in an attempt to figure out what exactly happened to her, but as far as we know, there haven't been any charges laid in connection to this crime. The last time she was seen was when she was getting into the car that was picking her up from the airport after her flight. She apparently knew the driver of the vehicle, but I'm not sure who this driver was or if they are a suspect. I hope one day we get to hear a conclusion of this story so that her family can receive closure, and because whoever committed this horrible crime most definitely needs to be brought to justice.
In our number 1 spot today, we have Karina Karaglanova. Karina was a Russian travel blogger who had a large Instagram following, where she took her followers along with her on her very lavish adventures. In 2019, Karina's family reported her missing after they were unable to get a hold of her for quite some time. The landlord of Karina was contacted, and the family asked to search her apartment. Eventually, however, they did locate the body of Karina, and it was the worst news that they never expected to receive. Unfortunately, someone had taken her life, and there are some pretty gruesome and horrifying details surrounding that. An investigation was immediately launched to figure out what exactly happened and who did this. While I'm not exactly sure what conclusion this story has, the last updates I was able to find came from 2019, when authorities released very little details about the prime suspect in the case. They never disclosed his identity, but they said he was a 33-year-old acquaintance who had grown jealous after learning Karina planned to go on a holiday with another man. I'm not sure if he ended up being arrested and charged with the crime or not, but I hope one day we get a solid conclusion to this story.